everyone, we are Lights Camera Initiative coming at you with another episode of the Hidden Shrine of Tamoachan, which now, in the very last episode, I've looked up how to say and no longer feel awkward trying to pronounce it. I'm going to be able to use it more than this session, definitely. So last week we left off with some gibbering mouthers. I would slam my head into the table, but I have to move a bunch of stuff, so just insert. Maybe I'll cut out a clip of me doing it and just... No. Anyway, there were some gibbering mouthers, there were some spiders, some people got fireballed. Probably too many people got fireballed, but hey, maybe that's just me. You went up, you fought a water weird, and you entered into this last room. You saw a bunch of glittering gold all over the ground, and more importantly, a pair of decrepit, decaying centaur with purple, feathered headdresses and spears stepped off and shouted something at you in Holman. Don't read any of the text on the thing, but if you want an image of what it looks like.
Huh.
Cool.
I don't like that.
So they rear up, and I'm going to need initiative.
Aztec mummy centaurs.
Yeah, we're just all over the place this session. Jeff, in that bag, I think I also left my notepad. So, or actually, you know what? Don't worry about it. I forgot that I have something for that, and I also killed one of them with my bag because I'm done.
But Laura's our experience, you bastard.
If I kill it first, they don't get any experience points. I'm a genius. Card goes first. You don't want to go first?
No,
I can make one of them go first.
I'm trying to help you fast. I will move. I'll move to here and shoot at that to 0.
That will provoke an attack of opportunity.
I want to go through. Oh, it has reach?
Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker.
It's wielding a spear.
Yeah, but spears don't have. Alright. Never mind. I'll stay where I am and shoot at them because I can't move anywhere without provoking that attack of opportunity.
Okay. Who are you shooting?
I will shoot. What are those little specks on the ground?
Those are the coins. Or all the glittery stuff on the ground. That I described when you entered here last week. And I realized it was last week. So.
Take like 2
I'll
steps.
shoot that one. No, I don't want to take any steps.
Well, no, like choose a sword, fire, then back.
I'll hunter's mark that one and
This one?
fire.
The one in the... Okay, you're going to hunter's mark and fire your arrow. Arrows, I guess.
29 to hit. So I assume that hits.
Yeah. I think a 29 to hit. Yes.
10 damage because I rolled as bad as I possibly could in the first attack. And then I'm gonna attack him again. I crit, so you betrayed me before, but yeah, must be you betrayed me again.
You were literally telling yourself why you shouldn't use them, and then you use them.
I don't have another one out. I'm like, this one crit for me. These.
What'd you get for damage?
Oh wait. Ignore that anyway. Because mark damage doesn't double mine.
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
All right stuff.
Oh. 20.
You fire 2 arrows at this one. One strikes in its chest and one in its abdomen. The arrows kind of just sink in a little bit, and a little bit of sand and dust spills out of the wound. As this one goes. This one moves over, and as it does, Carac, it stares into your eyes, and as it does, its eyes start to shift and warp, and there's roll me wisdom saving throw.
+4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, plus 1.
It's true. +4 for sure.
19.
19. You shake it off. He then attacks you.
Okay.
Did they see you wearing armor?
Doesn't seem like it. What's your armor class?
17.
Okay. As it charges forward, slamming its pike into you, it deals 13 damage.
Okay.
And it is now Grenna's turn.
Cool. I will advance dauntlessly.
Okay. Sorry, it was actually meant to be in this space.
Oh, okay.
I was just correcting.
And hack.
Alright.
And it's conscious. I got a 17 hit for the first attack.
That hits.
Cool. And the other attack was a critical.
Okay.
We're done this first attack first. For 16 damage.
Twice was those okay.
No,
The second attack was a crit.
Oh, sorry. Dumb.
Okay.
And as far as the second attack was concerned,
Remember the guy. Traverse.
26 damage.
And if you would like to roll your extra attack.
I think I will.
Okay.
That's the 9. 10. It's 12.
Okay. It's close, but you don't hit. It blocks with the butt of its pike, pushing your attack away. And it is now either Swig or Thornton's turn, whoever wants it more.
Good. Okay.
Fireball.
I wish.
I love the smell of backwater in the morning. It smells like victory.
Or pottery.
I guess.
Do they
It smells like Ace Ventura.
do they seem to be wearing horseshoes?
No.
Damn. I'm trying to think of a good target for
Yeah.
metal that isn't their weapon.
That'd be.
There's no target that isn't.
The headdress is
They're
on
right.
metal. Damn. Okay.
It's an interesting thought.
It's an interesting idea, but no, unfortunately they are not wearing horseshoes.
Horse?
You're pretty sure the last time these guys were alive, horseshoes probably weren't a thing.
That.
Horse sand.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think it's weird that we literally hammer nails into horses' feet to protect their feet.
Think of it more hammering into their giant toenails.
Only when you just said it.
That is a little weird.
Well, it doesn't hurt them unless it gets infected.
Then I will. Are they considered large or?
Yeah, they're large.
Okay. Seeing that, I'm going to cast Reduce on the one in the glittering coins. And if I am remembering correctly,
Alright, they roll a save.
con-
Constitution save.
I believe so.
Okay.
Has not gone up, so it's 14.
14. Okay, yeah, it works.
Cool. Reduces his size category by 1, makes him significantly lighter, and he also deals 1d4 less damage, I believe?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Is that your turn?
Does that lower his range?
His reach might. Part of the range is from the pike.
I'm going to move to the other side of the door.
Okay.
And yeah. Can't cast an attack.
Alright, Thorin, it's your turn.
Just make sure we don't gain our spell slots or nothing, right?
No, you did because you leveled up.
Oh.
You got all your stuff back.
Well, then I cast something.
No, not health, but you
Oh,
get spell
okay.
slots.
Okay.
You count spell slots as if you had just rested, and you gain more health. Like your maximum goes up, so the amount of health you were down. So it depends on how you track hit points. I usually track hit points by noting how much I'm down, so for me it wouldn't require any more math. If you have your hit points tracked for what they currently are, then I would add to your current hit points how many hit points you gained.
What about my usable stuff?
Yes. Basically everything, you still have all the damage you had, but everything else came back because you leveled.
So only at the amount. That makes.
Well, then I cast slow.
You cast slow?
Yep.
Alright, they have to make what kind of saves?
Wisdom.
What's your DC?
PC. That'd be 15 plus 4.
Okay. The one that is reduced is also slowed, however the other one saves.
Oh, bitch.
Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. It is now Asura's turn.
I will also note that the reduced one also has disadvantage on strength checks and saving throws.
Okay.
Which one
Keep that in mind.
did he reduce?
This one is reduced and slowed. This one is not.
Does it does
Although
it
it's a lot
actually
more
have
damage.
reduced reach?
It does, but it's not going to affect. You're still within its reach. It's just now he didn't have reach on Thoradin or Emron. Because the pike still gives him enhanced range. It's just they were both giving him extra range.
Okay. Both have been attacked, or just the one?
Yes, although one's. No, they're both hurt. One's more hurt. Granted,
I'm gonna attack this one.
granted
Closer,
did
and I don't
more
want to.
damage than Carac did.
I could probably survive an attack of opportunity, but I won't risk it.
Alright, I'm gonna attack this one.
Both attacks summon. Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
How far back do I have to be to charge with the horse?
You can't get back far enough. You have to go out of the room, basically.
1 second.
There's stairs. The horse is.
Alright, fine.
yeah,
I'll just
charge
have
out.
to use its scout then. Or its trample, whatever it's called.
Okay.
So. Okay. It's an 11 and a 21 for mine to hit, and a
21 hits.
22 for the horse.
The horse does also hit as well. Also, probably goes without saying, but if you want to use a spell slot, you are like 99% certain these things aren't dead. So you will do your divine smite will do an extra d8.
That's a first level.
What's whatever spell slot you want to spend? Its damage goes up.
Oh, yeah.
That's the higher the spell slot. So you can spend one first level spell slot to do an additional 3d8, or you can spend a second level spell slot to do an additional 4d8.
3d8 is probably fine.
Okay, so you're going to spend a spell slot on that one smite?
Yeah.
Alright, that's fine.
So you don't have to forward line march.
Alright, use 12 is fun damage. Damage for the horse.
Okay, as the horse tramples it seems to have a hard time hurting it. It seems it has resistance to non-magical weapons,
Oh,
which isn't going to affect you guys. Silver horseshoe. Let's get +1 horseshoes.
12 for mine, and then
Did someone model with horseshoes? They did those Velcro shoes I've seen some of the horses on the trail.
What?
Ah, the silver's not done.
What?
it's just 3d8. Plus,
Yeah, 3d8 plus what you rolled on the first part of the attack.
No,
the
it's
raven
money.
portion.
It's
Okay.
not metal.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's all wood. Hit damage.
25 damage.
Okay. Your horse tramples down on it, and you slash out with your blade, shining with righteous power, which wounds it. You actually cut into it, and it releases a sort of scream as its jaw unhinges, or not really unhinges, it's probably not anything to hinge it to, but it becomes unnaturally long, and it
Is that
releases
monster?
a mournful wail.
Also, just like in the Mummy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which one?
The
This
second one.
probably doesn't get an attack.
There's both.
I'm specifically thinking of the one where he turns around, watches him scream, and the other goes, I hate mummies.
It is now Emerald's turn.
Why wouldn't you eat mummies?
Dark Shadow.
That'll do it.
Shut Oh wait.
I didn't prepare that spell.
Yeah, wait, turn into a cat.
I don't need.
I don't.
Dude, yeah,
These
that
are a
rule.
different kind of mummy.
Yeah, they're not Egyptian mummies. Fair enough. I doubt they have these lines.
No, I'm gonna cast Fledged Blade.
Jaguar.
Okay. You cast Flame Blade.
Jack.
Is that an action or a bonus action?
It's a bonus action, so I'm gonna move up and... Can I get to the other side of it?
Other side of this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
So advantage.
Yep. Roll with advantage.
Anyway,
Oh my god.
22.
That hits. Roll your damage. Is that a quick reminder how you swing that?
I'm gonna chop his human half off the horse half,
Okay.
Bisect.
if I can.
Bisect.
No.
That's down the middle, isn't it?
That's 7 though, so I don't think.
So, as Emerald incants his spell, a blade of flame springs to life in his hand. He moves around to the side of the creature and hacks at its midsection. And as he does, when the fire hits his necrotized flesh, it starts to immediately alight as the thing begins burning all over, and the top of it is chopped off of it, falls to the ground, and explodes into dust.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Undead. Fire. Not good.
Fire and radiant.
You're pretty sure these things are weak to fire, as the other one unconsciously edges away from you.
That's right. Never wrong, I hate you.
And it is now this one's turn. It attacks.
Should have stayed dead.
Total cost?
18.
So it swings out at you with its pike, and as it does so, Granna brings up her sword and pushes it away. The second attack, however, is going to hit. I guess I should give you have shield in your ring, so I should give you that option.
I thought I spent shield. Looks like I didn't. I'm going to go ahead and use this.
And that bumps your AC up to 23.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, it still hits as it rears up and slams its hooves into you. Doesn't matter. You take 20 damage. 13 of that physical, 8 necrotic, and additionally I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Is he close enough?
Yes, he is close enough to the aura, so you can add a +4 to this from Asura.
21.
So as it slams its hooves down on you, it leaves behind like sort of rotted chunks of its own flesh, which immediately begin necrotizing at your skin. That's part of what did the necrotic damage. However, you managed to shake it off. And yeah, you push the things to the ground real quick. And yeah, that was its turn. So it's now Carp's turn.
Obviously, I'll shift from his mark and I'll shoot.
Surprised I didn't want to bite Carac. The dead things always seem to like to bite.
So this might do more damage.
talking
Kind of
shit to it.
walked up and did 50 damage to it, so it's like, yeah.
I think I have to try to kill you.
26 to hit.
It'd be a little silly if it didn't. 26 to hit, that hits.
16 damage.
16 damage? Okay.
And 28 to hit.
That
And
hits.
13 damage.
Okay. How do you want to do it?
One of its eyes.
Your first arrow strikes into its chest. The second one gets it in the eye, bringing its head off its shoulders and attaching it to the far wall.
Huh.
Its mouth like starts to droop, and you see a bunch of rotted and very gross teeth fall out. And yeah, the rest of it falls to the ground.
Already,
What do y'all do?
gold.
We're gonna take
No.
a shit.
And in fact, it doesn't have all its teeth. Well, they each had a pike.
Yeah.
Additionally, there's nothing else on them. But if you go into the gold, yeah, the shinies are actually not pieces of gold at all. They're actually all like kind of low quality junk jewelry.
Huh.
Look like they were made by common workers. However, if you gather it all up, there's about 800 pieces there, but if you gather it all up, it's worth about 120 gold. However, when you look around, the bottom of the two urns I described are stones, or are two crushed silver masks worth 25 gold each, an electrum serpent bracelet worth 50 gold, and a broken marble statue of a monkey worth 50 gold, and 4 silver hairpins set with jade worth 5 gold. And I can repeat any of that if you need.
I need you to repeat basically everything but the mask.
Electrum serpent bracelet worth 50 gold.
Alright. Alright, go ahead.
Broken marble statue of a monkey worth 50 gold. And 4 silver hairpins set with jade worth 5 gold each.
The broken monkey statue, do you think it might be worth more if it wasn't broken? If say were to mend it?
No, it'd probably be worth less.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you.
It's an antique.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
it's like it's like super gluing a 10,000-year-old anything together.
I glued this mummy back together.
Is it worth more?
No.
No. So yeah, what do y'all do?
Might be if you have that spell.
I assume that counted as us searching the room?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Move on.
Does there seem to be any
There's a
other...
single door.
Just the one door?
Check the door.
You want to check it out? Alright, roll me perception. Also, I've been doing traps wrong this entire time, so I'm going to try to do it correct from now on. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh.
Does it also
Okay.
include looking and finding them? Or
No.
is it just hitting? Okay.
It's disabling traps. There's an extra step that I missed out on.
Okay.
So you roll perception to find the trap, and then you have to roll an investigation check in order to understand the trap. And only after you've successfully rolled that investigation check can you then use thieves' tools to disable it.
Oh.
So
Wow.
the thief needs perception, investigation, and thieves' tools.
Wow.
I'm done.
I am missing one of those. But perception can be done by other people.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. also been doing experience wrong this entire time, but that's a story for another time.
No, D4.
Roll your perception.
Thank you for reminding me. Like I said, I'm never just going to assume. Yeah, let me know.
We
21.
said it though a couple times.
Yeah.
21. There's no traps on the door.
Is that locked?
Nope.
Okay.
It's just a door, a bronze door. You can open it. You can stare at it.
Can we take it off its hinges, put it in the bag of holding, and sell it for later?
Probably it'd take a long time then.
Oh, yeah.
You head.
We need a spare door.
That's true. We need a spare door. You head out into a chamber. It's a very small chamber. Oh, sorry. So as you touch the door to open it, it actually crashes outward, the whole thing falling in a heap. It falls away from you, so you're not sure what the point of it is.
Like that, or
But yeah, it literally falls over and crumbles into a bunch of like piles of broken, sharp jade. It appeared to be some sort of trap for people trying to come in through the tomb through the top way, if you had to guess.
we went in backwards.
Well, yeah, we
No,
fell
you're
in.
supposed to go in that way.
Oh.
But I guess they have it just in case you do manage to get in through the other way, or alternatively to show you that they were worried about people who were coming in through the top.
Well, that makes sense.
Because they were building it not assuming that you were going to fall through.
Yeah.
They didn't.
This too will stand the test of time.
As you head down that chamber, you go down about 30 feet and then hawk a right. This 5-foot diameter passage is dry and dusty, and it shows no signs of having been used for ages. Near the top of the corridor walls, about 3 feet from the ceiling, some lintels run the length of the passage. The corridor abruptly widens to a cube 15 feet on the side with a coagulated floor. In the ceiling of this area, a bronze circular trapdoor is set. The cover is lashed shut. In the four corners of this foyer are sets of metal rungs forming a ladder that leads up and across the arched ceiling to the trapdoor. The rungs are broken in several places, leaving rusty spikes. On the other side of the area, the corridor continues. So it's a hallway, and there's a trapdoor up in the ceiling, and there are metal rungs that you could climb to reach the trapdoor if you'd like. But some of them are broken off, leaving only metal spikes. And that's what you see when you enter this chamber. Although it's really more of a hallway. It's not really appropriate to call it a chamber, I guess. But
I
Use the whistle.
I have a bunch of piping search that we can try banging into the wall to replace some of the rings that we're missing.
do you want to search the room? Or search the room? Alright, roll perception.
20.
Near the trapdoor, but like set in at ground floor, but like in the same area where the trapdoor is, there are two secret doors heading off to your right.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
What to first? We have three options.
I want to cast Healing Spirit and heal us if that's okay with everyone. That only takes a minute. And I'm low on hit points. I don't know what the rest of you.
I'm missing some.
I can see
I think everyone's missing health
Alright.
more.
Roll healing spirit.
I was even going to say perhaps we should be careful to take rest at some point because we were told the evil will not let you leave so easily. So I suspect there's a big fight. In character, at least, I suspect there's a big fight somewhere around here.
I'm sure.
And we should be tip
Well,
shape for
What'd you
that.
get for your healing spirit?
I'm still doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 points. Okay.
Probably just get extra d6s for it. Well, I mean, he's not rolling. You don't know about it now. I'm saying in the future, if you're going to roll 10d6, you should probably just have 10d6.
How long does it take to cast?
It's an action, but it takes a minute to get to full healing. 40. Okay.
Alright, everyone heals for 40.
Thank you.
To be
Yeah.
honest, I was only down 14
I was down most of my hit points. I was lower than I thought.
because I've been hiding.
So take it you're still missing.
I am still missing hit points, yeah, but I'm not going to do it again.
Okay.
Do we want to go up or do we want to check the other doors?
I'm more interested in the other doors personally.
We always just check secret doors first.
Yeah, we do.
Alright, you want to open the secret doors? Which one? First or second?
they look indiscernible from each other?
Yeah, they look completely standard in terms of secret doorways.
Why not first?
Anyone disagree with that?
No.
Okay.
Step one.
You grab the lintel and the molding at the top of the wall and pull it down. The secret door swings inwards. Yeah. There's a small antechamber with a door in that room. And when you pass through that, the walls of this chamber are flat black, and the floor is inlaid with a colorful mosaic of strange gods cavorting and leaping around a sun. An alcove in the corner of the eastern wall is masked by a curtain of shell and beads. Other than that, there's nothing else in the room other than the colorful mosaic. It actually specifically shows a bunch of which you can tell are gods from the earlier murals you saw. Like there's the slug and there's the crying woman and the other ones dancing around the sun. However, it also specifically shows a what appears to be some sort of man, maybe human, or it's hard to tell. He has pointed ears and sharp, like a maw full of sharp teeth. He's also completely made of shadows. It shows a winged serpent flying down from the sky, grabbing the creature of shadow and throwing it into a pit and sealing it away forever. Is what the mosaic seems to depict.
So I assume the serpent is the thing we met before.
Probably.
Yep. What do y'all do?
See if we can find anything else.
Is the mask part of the mural, or it's just in the room?
It's master murals in the room.
Yeah.
What mask?
Oh, I thought you mentioned the mask, but maybe I am
There's
wrong.
a curtain of
There's a curtain of shells and beads. There's no mask.
Oh, never mind.
Search.
Is there anything behind the curtain? It's see-through.
We have to push it aside.
I'll push it aside then.
Push aside the curtain. Behind the curtain is a chalky form of a statue seated in a stone throne with its surface carved to depict feathers. The statue is wearing a feathered headdress and a feathered robe. Lying across its lap in its open palms is a scepter of gold and silver with an eagle's head crafted on one end and the talons of a bird holding a blazing sun on the other. The most remarkable thing of the statue is its face. It looks exactly like Asura.
It's a dragon one?
It's Asura.
Oh. Well, that's strange.
Does the staff basically look untouched by time? Like,
Yeah, it looks...
might be magical.
Let's have Asura take it. After all, it's his.
I can't argue with that.
If he came across a doppelganger in here, I 100% do not trust
Can
this.
we detect magic on it?
Does someone want to ritually cast Detect Magic? Or will cast it?
I have
It's very
one.
interesting. Because I heard the part of after immediately hearing the part about the sun, I was like, what?
Have we been in here long enough for the bombs to recharge, like at dawn? Okay, so it has one use left.
Oh, ritual cast.
If you use a last charge on your wand, it has a chance of crumbling.
Wand of Magic Detection does not have that.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it only gets 3 charges, not like
Mhm.
other ones. Okay, so you cast Detect Magic.
And it gains all of its charges.
It is magical, and it has auras of divination and transmutation upon it.
Well, okay.
It's also a really nice scepter,
Guess,
worth at least 200 gold.
guess I'll pick it up.
You grab the scepter?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. As you grab the scepter, in your head, you are transported to another time. You stand before a great battle. Hundreds of Ulman soldiers stabbing and slashing and at war with their enemies. Their enemies appear to be other humans. They don't seem that different from them. They might be a rival tribe. Their clothing is different, but they look like the same race. And there are signs of great battle, people running up and impaling each other, and priests calling down a blast of golden sunlight. And it's pretty intense. You're seeing people dying, you're seeing spells being cast, spells that you have never seen in your entire life. I mean, you're not the most magically learned in the world, but you're pretty sure you've seen that. Everyone else, Ashura stands gripping the staff, sweating. Like, profusely.
Snap it out of his hand.
Nice and sweat.
So I
That's an interesting question. Huh.
Take care.
does it look like it's hurting him, or like he's just
He looks zoned out.
tense?
Try and smack it out of his hands.
Alright, is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah, using the butt of my crossbow.
I'd like to see you try.
So,
I mean, if I go for the knuckles, it should be alright.
Wearing plate gauntlets.
Magical crossbow.
Using the crossbow for its intended purpose.
you try to push it out of his hands. It does not budge.
Problem.
Let me try. I'll try to I'll gently lay my hand on it first. It's kind of a perfunctory. Hold on now, and then I'm going to actually attempt to.
Okay.
On the
I
off
want
chance
you
that
both to roll me a d20.
on the off chance that he's just in a moment, I don't want to be rude, but at the same time,
Do I get protection? Or protection?
No, it's just 2 on a straight 20 rolls.
19.
19? What'd you get?
14.
He's holding on. It's hard.
Without adding anything to it.
Well, you both have the same thing. That's why I was just doing the flat.
Fucking.
Okay.
It's not coming loose.
Like,
Also, roll me perception, Greta, but roll with advantage.
Wisdom.
14.
As you pulled, you hear a sound like cracking of rocks.
Look at the statue.
It's weird.
You think it's coming from Ashura.
Is it actual Asura and not
Yeah.
statue Asura?
Additionally, when you turn and look, part of the statue is becoming its color is being filled in. It's very subtle at first. You're only right up and you're pulling, so you notice it. But there's a part on Ashura's face that's turning gray and stone-like
Oh,
on
God.
his cheek, and at the same time, the statue is becoming fleshy.
a big turd
The statue's stealing him, and we're gonna try to pull harder.
Give me another roll.
Shit. Somebody want to get behind her, give her advantage?
She had,
12.
or I'll pull on Gurna.
Alright, roll with advantage.
I'm sorry. I blame you, phone. Or rather, I kind of rolled into it, so maybe it's both our faults.
Of course, this is going to be the one time I keep rolling consistent.
Consistency is key.
You are stoned now.
Maybe we can pull his fingers away one by one. Because he can't, even if he's, I don't know.
Alright, so you pull hard. Yes? Would you like to do something?
Can I just dispel magic?
You can try casting Dispel Magic, yeah.
I'll try casting dispel magic.
Okay.
It is magic. I
Cast
hope it's
Dispel Magic. On Ashura?
The statue?
What a question.
Huh.
Because obviously Asura is the one being affected, but the staff, however, is the one doing it. Probably. I guess worst case scenario, I'll try it on Asura first to see if that works, and if it doesn't, we'll try it on the staff.
So you cast Dispel Magic on Asura. Asura, you snap out of it. You're covered in sweat, and your hand has let go of the scepter. Right now you're holding it. But nothing seems to happen.
The statue was stealing your self. I'm going to point to wherever the change was taking place. I don't know if it's still.
Is it?
The change is undone. But Ashura's stone face has changed. Now it's in like an angry snarl looking at the group of you.
Oh, the
But
statue?
it doesn't seem to move.
Mm.
I'm very.
No, it probably gave Asura a sleep bitch face. But for dragons.
I think that's just dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nothing really I can take from what I saw.
I would point at it. I would say, "You have failed again, Spectre." Because I'm assuming I heard laughter when I destroyed that mirror, and I'm assuming it's the same deal. And I'm gonna maybe waggle the whole thing at it.
So yeah, the scepter's worth 200 gold. What else do you do?
Maybe cast identify.
Yeah, we can look at that later and try to identify it.
I'm just not sure.
Perhaps we should
With what
destroy.
I saw.
Perhaps we should destroy the statue.
Pretty sick battle. Pretty sick. Sick battle though.
Yeah. If only I could just like look at spells and be able to use them.
Oh, well.
There's no...
Ancient
D&D
magic.
Sharingan.
There's no Sharingan for spells.
They're showing that for spells.
Hit them with your special eyes.
My spells.
Um...
And then you'll face a transmuter who's like, I turn clay statues into bombs and I fucking hate you. And you'll be like, this feels familiar.
And for some reason, I'll be on board with him.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
well,
okay, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
It's odd, right?
That's the only thing
It's
that's
not really odd that it worked.
Well, Grana brought maybe we should destroy the statue.
Nope. I see no in character.
Evil, but it's evil Asura.
Why not?
It's a magical item. Unless we know what it's actually intended for, I'd say no.
There might be some type of backlash if we destroy it.
It might be safe to sleep, I guess.
I suppose.
what's it gonna do? Its plane's been built.
Worst comes to
Oh yeah, you killed this guy.
This is true.
worst comes to worst, we still fight it in the end.
Alright,
Don't.
what do y'all do? If you look around the
Don't
room,
text
there's
us
nothing
again.
else.
Back out of the
Shit.
room while looking at the statue.
You face the statue god and walk backwards out of this room.
Into hell.
back into the Galilean God's room.
When you head out, once you're in this room, you've noticed that there's actually two doors. And if you enter the other door, it leads to the other trap door.
Oh, the secret door?
Yeah.
Oh.
There were two, but they both lead to separate hidden chambers.
So,
Oh.
the other one.
Okay.
So if you take the
there's-
other one, it leads back out into the hall where you were. There's still the bronze plug above you, and then, of course, you can keep going down the hall like you did originally.
Inspect
The
the rest-
choice, as always, is yours.
Inspect the rest of the floor.
Yeah, I think it's plug time.
Oh,
There's a path that we haven't gone through.
Okay, then no. I think plug time.
I'm fine with
That was-
Plug.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of titans and...
Alright, someone has to roll an athletics check to get up there unless you're going to activate the whistle to do it.
could try
How many
it.
charges does it have left?
Someone can just climb up the iron bars.
I'm willing to come up.
It's the only thing I
Okay.
rolled it on.
Well, the two of you can do it if you want. If you want to both try.
You can go ahead.
Or Ashura can do it. Alright, Ashura, roll athletics.
Would I be able to hop on to...
13.
You climb up there. You reach the plug.
Touch the plug, and visions of an ancient war start to befall me. Fall to the ground paralyzed.
Becoming paralyzed.
So you climb up there, you grab the plug, and you pull it open, and immediately a whirlwind of force is released, and wind starts blowing in through the hole. You are knocked off of the thing to the ground, taking 3 damage. Additionally, everyone else needs to roll, and knocked prone, everyone else needs to roll me a strength saving throw as the whirlwind pushes you.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, we're dead.
Is he close enough to give us the bonus or not?
Oh, he's on the floor.
Yeah, I guess technically. As silly as that is.
19.
19,
13.
13, Thornton? 20, Squig?
8.
8,
16.
16. Okay.
Can horse go prone?
Oh, wouldn't it have
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
It's like cow tipping. You can knock it over onto its side.
horses have a bit
Everyone
easier time
else-
getting up.
manages to hold and stand up through the gale force wind. Except for Squid. Is thrown not only wildly around the room, bashing into the wall. You actually bash into where one of the bars used to be, but instead there's just a rusty spike.
Oh,
And you take 2 damage.
Goblin swearing
Being the
every
side
bash.
effect tetanus.
On the ground, you can move. You think if you're...
Yeah. Okay.
What do y'all do?
Push myself off the
Any...
Is it stopping?
Or, I'm sorry, did it
Or getting
impale me,
weaker?
or am I
Movement.
still...
No, you're fine. It will take 3 squares of movement to move 1 square in this room. It's also not difficult terrain, so I don't think you ignore it. It's just the effect of being in the wind.
Is there anything actually up there, or is it just a trap?
You don't see anything up there. It's just wind.
Did you get a good look? Or?
I mean, you're right below it, and you're looking up, and it looks like a black void that's just looking straight up at it is really difficult because it's just blowing wind directly into your eyes.
Weird.
You want to check it out?
You could try to close it, but it would be an athletics check with disadvantage, and I would say it would take multiple turns because of the movement speed penalty you're taking.
Do temp hit points disappear when we level?
No, if you still have 10 hit points, you still have those.
Okay.
Alright, I guess we should just move on. Don't know if there's actually anything up there. All I can see is black.
Well, it seems magical. Do you know what this might be?
I mean, tech magic goes for, 10 minutes, right?
Someone please close the wind hole.
Well, it's evocation of some kind. It appears to be some sort of wind trap. If you had to guess.
A wind tunnel.
Oh no, then we'd be
Yeah.
screwed because we'd be going the other way.
Yeah.
Funny. What do y'all do?
We'd be fine as long as Amaron turns into bees.
Easy counter.
Well, Lights Camera Initiative 2019, bringing you up to the date in Yuyasha jokes.
Can't I only turn into one bee?
Yeah.
Polymorph can polymorph you into a swarm. So, no, you can turn into a swarm of bees.
Okay, alright.
Weird.
Hard counter. Or set.
You can turn into a swarm of super smart rats called cranium rats. Look up the beast list.
Okay.
Yeah, they're CR5, I think, and you can turn into any beast CR7 or lower. Which means you can't be a T-Rex, because they're CR8, so you have to wait till the next level. But you can be a giant gorilla, you can be a horde of cranium rats, you can be a velociraptor, some kind of raptor.
I feel like a dire ape.
You could be a triceratops. Yeah, diarrhea.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Or, no, it's called the giant ape.
Oh.
I'm fine with just moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Treasure.
you're gonna have to keep making checks until you get out of the room.
Would
Because
I have an easier time doing it if I'm like crawling?
yeah, if you drop to the ground prone and crawl like Ashura's doing, you can actually
That's
it'll take a little bit because prone cuts your movement speed in half, and then it's 3 for 1. So basically, it would take you all like 6 turns of being buffeted by the wind, but you wouldn't have to make saves anymore.
well, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I
Squid drops to the floor and grabs onto the parts of the floor that are uneven, like I described.
Yeah.
And basically, you guts your way up the mountain, but the mountain is the floor, and you're not attached to a rope.
Yeah, I have 10
And
strength.
we're not
I
really
can
low,
anyway.
so it's not really like guts at all. But you know,
Hey, at least I wouldn't have to land. At least I don't have to land.
that's true. What are the rest of you doing? You see Squid drop to the ground, and
Well, I'm already on the ground, so.
you see these two start crawling on the ground away from the wind.
I guess I'll crawl too.
You drop to the ground and begin to crawl.
Except for I crawl faster than you bitches. I'm.
You don't crawl faster than Eberron.
Yeah, I know. That's fine.
You
Why?
crawl at the same speed?
Yeah, I know.
What about you two?
About dungeon crawls.
At least initially, I will make the checks and fight the wind.
Okay, roll me a strength check.
Granted, just one-ups Carac and sprints.
Eat shit, elf.
This one's 25.
Okay. Roll me another one. You're gonna have to roll me 3 to get out of here.
Oh, okay.
What if
Or
it takes
actually,
a
2.
dash
Yeah, with
action?
dash action, you can take 2.
Then sure. This one's 22.
Okay, you get off fine. Gordon, what do you do? Do you crawl with your allies, or do you try to sprint through the storm like Grunna?
Do you stand tall with your stubby legs?
Are you trying to provoke?
Dwarves used to get
Stability bonus.
stability bonuses.
Oh, they don't anymore?
I'll try walking out of here. Or running.
Alright, roll me 2 strength checks.
How did they take that?
I don't
Yeah,
make it on the
weird.
first one.
So what'd you get on the first one? Well, if you didn't make the first one, don't roll the second one.
Now he's prone.
But what did you get on the first one?
It's saving throw, right?
Yeah, save. Strength save.
7.
7?
Mhm.
Okay.
Could just close the damn window hole and we'll have to deal with this shit.
Oh yeah, we'll only have to make multiple
Yeah.
saving throws, risk falling and taking damage and starting all over again.
It's
Either-
more trouble than it's worth.
That's why one person climbs up one side and one person climbs up the other side of the spiky. And if one person falls, the other just holds on.
And let's the other one follow them.
Also, we have healing and we can take a long rest afterwards.
Yeah.
If we're gonna take a long rest, then we wouldn't need to heal.
Oh yeah, that's or we could just heal and go on. It doesn't really.
We have to make
Anyways.
multiple athletics
Guys,
checks
just-
with disadvantage.
He already made the choice. Just it's fine.
Actually,
He just,
quick question: am I allowed to turn into a giant lizard?
is that on
You
the beast
really
list?
just want to crawl.
It is a beast.
Oh, you mean with
Yeah.
wild shape?
Yeah.
Sure. Why?
Because I can crawl up the wall and try
But
to
you still have to
climb
make
in.
checks because the wind's pushing at you. You'd have to make a strength save to not be knocked off.
It does have better strength than me.
Well, if you want to do that instead of crawling along the floor, you can.
Yeah, okay. I'll turn into a lizard. Giant lizard.
Okay. Roll me an athletics check. Or, not an athletics check, a strength save.
Also, like when if we get attacked, then we're fucking screwed because we have to move.
I thought about that, but if we ran into enemies in this room, they'd take the same damage.
Not necessarily. They could negate it from us.
Guys, stop arguing about it. Unfortunately, you knocked off your feet prone and into a spike, taking 6 damage.
There it is.
However, Amaron manages, and you're just crawling out of there?
Yeah.
Okay. You turn into a lizard and crawl out of there. What are you going to do, Thornton?
Crawl.
You crawl the rest of the way out of there. You can still hear the cacophony of wind behind you, but you're in the rest of the hall now.
And once I'm out of that place, I'm gonna cast alarms and get my fucking shield back. You fuck.
You're gonna normal cast one? Or
No.
you're gonna ritual cast it?
Ritual cast. I don't care. I'm doing it. You guys can wait or you can leave. I don't care.
You begin taking the 10 minutes to cast Alarm. So the hallway continues.
How many times?
As many times as I do.
You head. So after you get out of the chamber, there's about another 20 feet before it pops a right again. You go down that for about 30 feet, and then it pops a left. And you're still in the hallway, but before you, out of the hallway, is a floor 10 feet wide and 20 feet long. A narrow hall connects this area on the south side, and the north end, a 5-foot wide staircase leads up. A wheel is set horizontally half into the wall in the southeast corner. The wheel appears to be a crank of some kind. Above the wheel, a bronze lever is set into the wall, angled downwards.
Search.
Check.
Okay, roll perceptions.
I'm trying to get back.
It's 2 per alarm cast. So by the time they're done searching, you will have cast it once. So you'll have gotten back 2.
Crit. 24.
24. There is a pressure plate right at the start of the room.
Should look at that.
Ah.
I mean, anyone else who rolled over a 15 saw it as well, but Asura super saw it because he was like, pressure plate.
Alright. Yeah.
The floor is slightly uneven.
So, it's investigation, you said, without Thieves' Tools?
So, because you already know how to disable the these traps here, I'm going to say not in this case, but in the future you will have to roll investigation to figure out how to disable it.
Oh.
Ever since all these pressure plates are basically the same, you figured it out once, so it's pretty easy to do it again.
Okay, I will try. 19?
19?
Mhm.
I've been a goat.
Okay, you disable the, you pull it up and jam it with the spike. Yeah, in this room, and you're searching the rest of the room.
Mm-hmm.
So, there is all that shit I mentioned with the wheel and the staircase.
You said the staircase is on the other side of the room?
Yeah. The staircase leads up to a blank wall.
Maybe the wheel lowers the wall or raises it in every direction.
Maybe.
Are there any pulleys or anything visible attached to the wheel or the crank? I mean,
Huh?
is there anything visible attached to the crank
The crank?
or wheel?
No. There doesn't appear to be anything on the crank. Although the crank can, of course, be cranked. However, as you're looking at the crank door, you actually notice very tiny on the floor next to basically the blank wall is a tiny keyhole.
Hey, the silver key we found earlier, the platinum key. I mean,
Maybe.
No.
does it fit?
Give it a try.
Looks like it does.
Let's do it.
You open it. As you do, the wall slides, and a breath of like a rush of fresh air hits you. You see the night sky before you. Stars fill it, leaving a sort of like there's a sort of semi-dimness, but you know.
We're outside.
You're outside.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Alright, down to the dungeon.
Let's go.
What a crazy
Nothing
day.
else to see here.
Well,
Wait,
did they...
I'm not
didn't
sure
the
there
snake
is.
Snake did...
As-
mention a god?
It did, but like,
Great.
This was apparently a large temple of some sort. Once a major building, all that remains are the back wall and enough of the roof to shelter an altar. All else seems to be closed off by fallen debris. Several pillars have fallen as they litter the floor. Sunlight filters through holes in the roof, 35 feet overhead. Well, not sunlight, but... Sorry. Moonlight filters through the holes in the roof, 35 feet overhead, which is a maze of chips and cracks. The back wall is covered in a bas relief of a giant bat thing of some kind, 9 feet tall, with a wingspan of 20 feet. In front of the wall is an altar stone, carved to represent a mass of squirming rats, weasels, worms, and leeches.
So disgusting.
On the front of the altar is the head of a screaming bat. Jutting above the altar on either side are a pair of sharpened metal bat wings, 8 feet long. The floor in front of the altar is worn smooth. Don't look at any of the text, obviously, but this is the altar.
That's lovely.
Opening part of that Hellboy movie.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Which means mummies.
what do y'all do?
There's nothing on the altar.
Don't.
There's nothing on the altar. But you also haven't gotten close to it either. Do you approach the altar to look?
Hell, I'm gonna fucking look this place
I'm gonna
over
roll.
first.
Actually,
I do not trust this room.
do you know what seeing no doubt unspeakable atrocities carved into stone make me tired?
No.
I think
no.
that maybe,
no.
just maybe, this is an excellent place for a nap.
No.
I think it's a very bad idea. I want to roll perception.
You should look first.
The area.
Might be more
I
traps.
also search.
So you're rolling perception?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
6.
Thornton, are you rolling perception? No? Alright.
I got 25.
25.
If we're good, we're good, but like if we're not, that looking at is probably gonna trigger it.
Or
I mean, landing on it might have definitely triggered it.
So, I'm sorry. Please repeat what you guys got. Asura?
21.
21? Car?
16.
25.
19.
Okay. Emerald and Asura immediately notice that the floor, which is technically the roof, but it's what you're standing on, is very fragile.
So
You will need to walk carefully.
It's probably just you because
yeah,
you can see stone stuff.
Additionally, as you get up to the altar and check it out, there are handholds on the front side and the hinges at the back, indicating that it's possible for the altar to be lifted from the front and tipped to its side, although it will require pretty monstrous strength. Not that that has ever stopped this group even once, but for a normal, not ridiculously swole group, it would require monstrous strength.
We're not ridiculously swole, we just have some people to balance us
It
out.
might even require an entire group of melee-only fighters.
There's probably something under it, right?
Alright, so...
Additionally, Emerald and Asura also notice that the place where the altar connects to the wings, there's a very slight, almost imperceptible groove that would allow the wings to come forward.
Like they try to chop people?
Would divine sense... no, it's a trap thing, so...
It appears to be if you mishandle it, someone's going to get chopped.
Can we move to disable the blade parts?
So, some of you are going to have to lift the altar up off the ground, and then someone is going to have to crawl under it to try to disable it. And I hope you guys don't drop it in the meantime.
Goodbye,
man.
Siri. Rest
We'll be
pancake.
granting the aid action or helping hold it up, whichever.
You're going to help hold it up?
Alright, if both of us lift it, do we get advantage or just...
No, it's just it's a strength. It's checking your total combined strength score.
Okay.
If I
Alright.
cast...
So we are good. We don't want to stop for anything.
we check the room and...
He's asking if we could long rest.
Spells, health, whatever.
I'm
Because I'm pretty good, but like I don't know about everybody else.
I'm actually okay.
I'm only down one level 1 spell slot and
pretty
no
good.
HP.
Okay. Then sure. Then I guess we shall.
Okay.
I got 16.
Oh, you guys don't have to roll anything. It was just combined
Oh.
As soon as the
strength.
person...
And you're rolling... I first need you to roll an investigation to figure out how to disable the trap, and then a Thieves' Tool check to see if you can actually disable it.
Since I'm small, I could actually fit under there a bit easier,
Yeah.
I don't think that was a
Yeah.
requirement.
But
Let's work on you guys. Investigation. 24.
Yes, it appears that on the back and inside of it there are these huge metal hinges that pull the blades forward.
Okay.
Or
What?
So give me
Process.
a Thieves Tools check. It's going to take 10 minutes, so you can add another 2 to your shield.
Okay. Watch your heads, and this is gonna take a while.
hope our stamina holds
Don't
up.
roll
Now, you
terribly
guys
and trigger the trap.
Didn't want a short rest like Rena asked, right? Just to double check?
I assume we can't really
We're
short
good.
rest while we're doing this.
Well, you would have had to do it before you started doing this.
Oh.
But I would let you guys take a short rest if you'd liked.
I think we decided, or most of us decided we were fine anyway.
Yeah, I don't really have much.
All
that
right.
gives
You.
Make a roll.
Well, yeah. What'd you get?
rest in pieces, all three of you.
11.
Doesn't work. You're gonna have to take another 10 minutes, so you can add 2 more to your thing.
Back up to full. Yeah.
Does he get a +4, or is it? No, that's not.
No, that's
Saves.
saves.
No, but I do get double proficiency bonus for
What'd you
working with my shit. 24.
24. You disable it. It is set back down, presumably once Squid gets out from under it, and it is open. Once the altar is opened, it reveals like an 8-foot, basically, pit inside that shines in the moonlight. After counting it, there are 30,000 pieces of silver.
Jesus Christ.
And just tell me when you're ready, because this is going to take...
Oh, there's a lot.
Oh man.
It is full to the brim of treasure.
Okay.
75 silver-chased goblets worth 5 gold each.
Alright.
30 gold-plated statues worth 10 gold each.
Okay.
60 embossed silver chalices worth 5 gold each.
Wait. 60 embossed what? Houses?
Silver chalices.
Oh. Alright, silver chalices. How much are they worth? 5?
5 gold each.
Okay.
120 pieces of gold and jade and copper jewelry worth 5 gold each.
Okay.
75 pieces of mother of pearl worth a gold each.
Okay.
A jade placard bearing the image of the Shadow Man from the mural earlier
Okay.
worth 150 gold.
It's worth how much? 120?
150.
150, okay. Okay.
And a marble statue of a reclining woman worth 75 gold.
You said 70 or 75?
75.
Okay.
You gather your treasure, flush with success. And that is where we are going to take our break. Stick around.